What's up, family? Welcome to Papa Lowe's Place. It's a place where we talk about ideas, concepts, topics of the day, and yes, even the Bible. So sit back and relax, and let's walk through this journey together. All right? Now, I want us to watch this video together. Roll the clip.
I approach the world with an infinite mindset. But when you listen to so many leaders, it becomes abundantly clear that they don't always know the game they're playing, and they talk about being number one, being the best, or beating their competition. Based on what? Based on what agreed upon metrics, objectives, and timeframes. And this is a problem, because when we play to win in a game that has no finish line, when you play with a finite mindset in an infinite game, there are very predictable and consistent outcomes. The big ones are the decline of trust, cooperation, and innovation. So, whenever I hear somebody say, "We're this, look at this, we're the best," and when you can see a little smirk on my face as you're reading the list, is because what goes through my mind is, for now. Which is, those things are true, celebrate them, pat yourself on the back, absolutely enjoy them, you earn them, you work hard for those accomplishments. But they cannot last forever. It's all for now. And I think understanding that accomplishment or rocket ships are all for now, A, keeps you humble, which I know is a value of yours. A, keeps you humble, but B, it makes sure that you stay on your game. I think humility, and let's define humility. My favorite definition of humility is by a guy named Bob Gaylor, who was the 5th Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, who just recently died. But Bob Gaylor said, "Don't confuse humility for meekness." He said humility is being open to the ideas of others. And so it's not the aw shucks. You can have a big ego and fool yourself and think you're awesome, but if somebody says, "I have an idea," it's the humble one that says, "Let's hear it." Or who actually thinks other people's ideas actually have merit. Sometimes. And that's what keeps you ahead of the game for longer, which is that you're never complacent, you believe there's always room to improve, and your biggest competitor is yourself. That you're actually not competing against anyone else on the market, you're competing against yourself. And how can you outdo yourself in culture, in training, in leadership, in culture, all these other things, and all your other traditional metrics. That's what keeps you ahead of it. But it really is humility is one of your greatest assets.
Ask you a question. Is humility important? Is it necessary? As you listen to Simon Sinek speak, he mentioned that there are people who brag and boast about being the best, being the first, the most awesome. But did you catch his mentality? He said, "For now." It does not and it will not last forever is what he talked about. I also like the fact that he spoke about having accomplishments and goals, but it is the humility that keeps you grounded and not the complacency. With humility, one will realize that there is always room for improvement. All right, family, let's look at a Bible verse on this. In Proverbs chapter 12, verse 9, we get to see what God had to say about pride versus humility. And it reads, let me get a little closer. "Better to be lowly and have a servant than to play the great man and lack bread." Back in the day, we call that being ghetto fabulous. Living above your means and just to project an image of power and riches. Projection is not reality. It is the reason why social media and those dating apps can be misleading. Who on there accurately exposes the negatives, the struggles, and the addictions? Yet, with jet-like speed, you are mesmerized with the perceived good things. And I do say perceived, because truth is, you just don't know. In the Bible, we have many examples of humility. We have Jesus being led to the cross to give his life for everyone. We have David, who didn't attempt to justify adultery, but he became broken by what he said and what he did, and proceeded to petition God for his forgiveness. and then back to Jesus when he washed the feet of the disciples. And there were many more examples that can be pointed to that shows the beauty and the power of true humility. And what say you, family? Is humility important? Is it necessary? Give me some examples of humility that you have witnessed lately. We don't need names, just a testimony. All right, family. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. Thank you for hanging with me here at Papa Lo's Place. I look forward to seeing you all again next week, where we tackle another intriguing topic. In the meantime, take care of yourselves and each other. I love you guys. Bye.